Today's vet project. We are going to go ahead and introduce one of our doctors. She's been on with us before, Dr. Meredith Stanley from Nacogdoches Animal Hospital. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm great. How are you doing? Thanks for having me again.
We're always glad to have you here on East Texas now. There's some things that I wanted to talk to you about, not only because I'm a pet owner myself, but because there's a lot of things pet owners don't know and they don't realize. We've been talking about prevention here on the desk, especially with vaccine breakdowns last time, but today, let's talk about the other ways that our pets can get hurt, like bumps or bruises from jumping off of furniture. And I know my dogs get the zoomies, especially either after baths or whenever we get home. That's usually how it happens. And they can get hurt really easy. Dr.
Yeah.
Meredith Stanilan, you're here today to talk to us a little bit more about things to look out for on the day-to-day basis.
Yeah, no, it's a great topic because to your point, I'm a pet owner too. I'm a veterinarian, so I see kind of like the wild things, but we also see the things that are more common. And so, every pet is different, but our animals are very, they're athletic animals. Like they run, they jump, and they are in a different environment than they are used to, which is our homes, right? Like you have to think about where dogs were before. They were out in the wild and they weren't, used to living with couches and TVs and children and other animals. And so they are more prone to, hurting themselves if they're in a more, contained environment. Or if there is, something that's going to miss. I've seen lots of different injuries and bumps and scratches outside of just inner household play. I'd say some of the most common things that we see is toenail injuries, really, really, really common because their nails get too long and they'll be running on the carpet or they'll get caught on a door frame or a window. And so toenail injuries are super common. So making sure that their toenails are kept nice and short can make a really big difference. And the other things we see is a lot of orthopedic disease. A lot is related to weight. So keeping your pet a nice lean weight, which I'm sure your vet probably always talks about when they come in, can also help prevent other orthopedic diseases. That's just some of the two big things we see the most.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I trust me, I have a pointer, and so you know kind of how that goes. They're
Oh yeah.
they're really excited all the time, but I didn't get his dew claws removed, and so when he runs around a lot, sometimes he'll get caught, and then mom's got to clean them and wrap them or make sure that they're. Yeah, I have to do the full 9 yards for my dog Remy. His name's Remington, uh, and he's probably listening to us on the TV right now, wondering why mom's talking about him, talking about his nails right now. So let's talk about some of these injuries. How are they treated? How are most of them prevented?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, for nail injuries, keeping the nails nice and short, checking them regularly. If there is one that's getting stuck on things a lot, talking to your veterinarian about options, keeping your pet a nice lean weight. I know we love to give them treats and love. The food isn't always love, and making sure they have a nice tuck to their underbelly. You're able to see the last couple of ribs. That sounds like, oh, that might be too thin. But that's actually like ideal body condition, what we want, and that prevents a lot of arthritic changes, ACL tears, problems with their hips and their back. Even in our small breed dogs, they can be prone to disc disease. So, all like keeping a nice lean weight can make a really, really big difference.
Okay, well, now let's talk about dogs and cats, as they're kind of known to swallow things that they shouldn't. What is the strangest thing that you have seen one eat, and what is the most common bad thing that they eat?
Yeah, so I got some good ones. So I'd say the most common thing that I see, and also pretty strange, are fish hooks. A lot of people like to go fishing with their animals, and they smell like the fish or the like the bait that they have on it. And so swallowing fish hooks is really, really common. I've pulled them out of a lot of dogs' mouths. They can get stuck in their esophagus. So if you're going fishing with your pet, please be sure that they don't try and swallow a fish hook. That's pretty common. Also, it's pretty weird. The other thing that probably the strangest thing is I had a cat one time that was eating all the owner's dryer sheets, like as they were taking them out of their dryer, and they didn't know it. So it balled up into like a big ball, like 60 dryer sheets. So things that you wouldn't think that they eat, like why would a cat want to eat dryer sheets? I don't know. It doesn't have a good scent. It doesn't have a good treat smell to it, but they will eat anything and everything. So be conscious. And I've had some dogs that I had to take to surgery for foreign bodies that have eaten pieces of plastic that the owner says, "Oh my gosh." they ate that months ago. So you really got to. It can be something that sits in their stomach for a while sometimes too.
Hmm. Well, I know we talked about the dangers of it, but is there anything that we should know about how to prevent maybe some of these dangers? I mean, obviously, we're all scared about what our dog is going to ingest at some point. I think it's happened to pretty much everybody unless you're, watching your dogs every single step, which I don't have time to every single day. I just have to trust that they're not doing the bad things, right?
Yeah. I mean, I got it too. I got two dogs myself that love to eat and chew on everything, but really being cautious of the things that are really dangerous. So, like magnets that are on the refrigerator, that can be really, really dangerous. Batteries, glass, those things, please keep up because if those become a foreign body, they can become much more life threatening than just your regular things. If you have a pet that loves to chew on plastic and Barbie dolls, have a bin or something you can put it in with a cover. Personally, I have a dog that loves to get in the trash, so I had to get special trash cans through my whole house that she can't get into. And so it's lifestyle changes, and to your point, your pet the best and what they typically like to get into. I also urge clients and owners, if you are going to give your dogs toys, like watch what they're doing with the toys. If they've chewed it up into a million bits and taken the squeaker out, take the squeaker away. Or those rope toys, if they're shredding it, throw it away. Those toys are great, but if they come into a million pieces, they will swallow them.
They can become dangerous too at that point. All right, let's talk about some of these, injuries that are pretty common in dogs, cats, or any of your pets. Sprains and strains. Let's talk about that first before we get to choking and broken toenails.
Yeah, I think the most common sprain or strain is going to be in your our athletic large breed dogs that either hurt their hips or their knees. Dogs are really prone to what we call cranial cruciate injuries, or essentially like ACL for people. Really, really, really common, just really due to the dog's anatomy. So the biggest thing is making sure that they're not jumping from really high surfaces, 'cause that's when they're going to injure themselves the most. And again, I keep going back to it, but keeping them a good weight. If they're overweight, they're almost 50% more prone to having a strain or sprain on their knee or their hip.
Now let's talk about choking for those animals. Obviously, we talked about them ingesting, different items. How do you even prevent them from choking, or how would you know what to do?
I've
Dr.
seen dogs choke on or those. Oh, sorry,
I
cut
think
out.
I think he
I'm
just
back.
came back. He came back. That's good. All right, let's
Hi.
just kind of backtrack for a minute. How do you prevent your pets from choking?
Yeah, so one of the number one things I see dogs choke on is those Kong toys, like the big red ones. They'll try and swallow them because they put like peanut butter and things like that in it. So just be careful, like kind of watch them, or if you have one that tries to inhale it, maybe don't leave them alone. The other thing that they'll like to choke on is if you have like plastic bags around, it's kind of like a kid, they'll suck that in, or a balloon. So please be cautious about that. Those are the top two things that I'll see them choke on.
And I know we already covered broken toenails at the start here of our interview. Is there anything else or any more that we should know about or that people may not know about? Maybe even think of?
Yeah, I think we talked about knees, we talked about hips, we talked about toenails. I mentioned disc disease, but our dogs that have long backs, and even our cats that have longer backs, so your dachshunds, and even your smaller breed dogs, they are really prone to back disease or slipping a disc, what we call intervertebral disc disease. So just be cautious about our little small dogs jumping off of high surfaces, because that is when they're more likely to hurt their back, and that's pretty common too. That'd be the other thing that I would suggest.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you might want to add before we go?
I think we covered a lot. I appreciate it, and I hope this was helpful for everyone watching.
Of course. Thank you, Dr. Meredith Stanley from Nacogdoches, the animal hospital. We will talk to you next time.